Morning everyone, beautiful day. I thought I'd make a quick post. I've had a few people reaching out and asking me, what exactly I'm doing and what's the foundation about and what's my goals. And yeah, essentially the goal is, to help support, inspire people that are, been through, it could be prison or it could be, misguided youth with, sort of not much support. So I'm going to get a website up and running, and on the website we'll have different resources, but then, actual tangible help. We want to be able to help with resumes, cover letters, but also guidance. So guiding people, how to get jobs, what tickets to get, those types of services. But it's coming from a place of, being there, done that sort of thing. So look, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination a full-time hardened criminal or anything like that. I've been to prison twice. I was very lucky. I sort of was moving around between Perth and New South Wales in those years, and even one time I broke into a chemist, but when I went to court, they didn't know about my records from WA. So I was very lucky. I didn't get a lot more time for some of the stuff I'd done. So just a little bit about my background. When I was 15 to 25, every day was just chaos. I was breaking into places every day. I was doctor shopping every day. I was really, really going through the grips of addiction and, court and going to, community services and things like that. And really, I plan to get, mentors on that have done a little bit more of that harder time and stuff like that. But essentially, I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like. I couldn't read and write for school. I used to sit there and just not do anything. And I know what it's like to not feel it, to fit in, to not feel normal. And I know how hard it is, really trying to turn your life around. It's taken me years, and it's been a real process. It's been a real journey. And if I can give back and support guys that are wanting to turn their life around but not really knowing how. Sometimes, service providers and things like that, they can, speak to you like you're a piece of shit, and I don't mean to swear, sorry guys, but really not treat you good. And sometimes they might not mean to, but it might feel like that. So some guys might just need a little bit of encouragement and a bit of support from guys that are sort of, been there themselves, and a little bit of, help to guide. Because really, even though it's really hard and it takes years, if you can get a little bit of support and a little bit of, sort of coaching and guiding, even though it's extremely hard and with criminal records and things like that, there are things that can be done. And, you can pretty easily get a few tickets, and there's fundings available. You go out and get a white card and maybe an EWP ticket just to start with, and you can go and get, jobs in the mines or on different projects, like doing spotting and hole watching, so confined space ticket. I mean, look, some of them jobs are sometimes boring, but, there's traffic management and things like that. And, you can go deeper into it. So myself, I got those tickets, and then I got rigging, dogging, operating, and, later on I had some businesses, and I eventually got my structural landscaping certificate as well. That was so I could do jobs over $5,000, but I know the process. I know how hard it is. And yeah, basically, if you can get a few tickets and get going, and you get a good job, all of a sudden, you don't want to break the law anymore. And it makes it interesting when you're working. If you're working for, $25 an hour or something, it's pretty miserable. But you start, doing some shutdowns or doing some big jobs where you're earning, 50, 60, anywhere up to $100 an hour if you're on night shift. All of a sudden it's like, you start getting good pays, 2, 3, 4 grand a week, and you can start saving and putting some money away, and all of a sudden it feels like, hang on a minute, I can do this, I can change. And yeah, it's not an easy journey, but it is possible, it is doable. And we want to have resources on the website, so we want to link in with different rehabs and different facilities, different mental health places and things like that. But we want to be able to link in with the job networks, and basically have a system where, we tell you whatever area you're in, which ones we work with, and the ones that will actually get you the tickets. Because if you don't know what to say and you don't know how to sort of work the system, they make it really difficult to, get the funding and get the courses. So, but there's, when I don't know what it's called these days, but when I was back in the, 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was called Stream 4. And because you come out of prison, there's more funding. But yeah, a lot of the times, unfortunately, those job networks, they don't want to, release the funding. So if we can work in and, find different partners that, actually want to help guys and know what we're doing and what the program is and, what we're all about, I think that'll be good. So, look, I'm not trying to say I know it all, because I certainly don't. It's a journey, it's a struggle, it's a process, it's not easy. But, yeah, if we can link the dots and connect with different places and, help people and inspire people, that's the goal. So that's a little bit about sort of what I'm up to and the journey, and people have been sort of asking, what my background is and what I've been up to. But yeah, we really keen to connect with different people and hear different stories and speak to people that have been through it and done it, and also connect with different places that can help people that are trying to turn their life around. So that's the gist of what we're doing and essentially what we're up to. But we're pretty we've launched the Chuff campaign. A couple of people have given a couple of dollars over there, which is really good. But really would appreciate if anyone can spare $5 or $10, because it all costs money getting the website, registering for a charity status, all these different things cost money. And it's going to be a process, guys. It's just like, for some of you guys, it's going to be a process, getting work and getting tickets and all that. It's going to be a process for me, but I want to be able to, help anyone I can. Not everyone want help. Some people, they want to keep doing what they're doing, and, if that's the case, whatever, good luck to you. But if you're someone that wants help and you want to reach out, more than happy to help, and really keen to get other guys on the team that can, also inspire and uplift and sort of guide and coach and mentor anyone. So that's it from me, guys, for now. I've got a bit of work to do. I'm going to mow the lawn and things like that. But have a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye.